Himalaya.
You're listening to the Girl with Self-Esteem Issues, a Himalaya learning podcast. To access my Own Your Shit handbook filled with key insights and exercises, and to join a community where you can chat directly with me, go to Himalaya.com/Rosie. Use promo code Rosie at checkout for your first 14 days. Absolutely free. I hope to see you there. Hey everyone, I'm Rosie Mercado, and this is the Girl with Self-Esteem Issues podcast that talks about the good moments, the bad moments, and everything in between. Today's guest is a talented singer who's redefining Mexican music, and we're talking about La Hermosa, Helen Ochoa. Of course, Helen, welcome to the podcast, mija. Hasta que nos conectamos.
I know, I'm so excited. Oh my God. She called me hermosa. She is gorge. Those dimples are life.
Oh my God. Thank you so much, Mama.
I'm living for her dimples.
Oh, thank you. I've been following everything that you're doing. It's empowering. It's inspiring. You are just like the definition of Latina boss. Like you are just going after it. I've seen you like grow so much, and you just have so many amazing things that are happening within your career, within your love life, which we're going to be talking about today, which I'm super excited. But we want to start off always with some inspiration. I'm going to start today the conversation with the quote of the day, and let me know what you think. Okay. So we're going to start off. First of all, I just want to say thank you for being here, Mama, before we start with that inspiration.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm excited. Thank you. I'm ready.
All right. The quote of the day. Today's quote is about love, and it comes from author Deepak Chopra. The secret of attraction is to love yourself. Attractive people judge neither themselves nor others. They're open to gestures of love. They think about love and they express their love in every action. And they know that love is not a mere sentiment, but it's the ultimate truth at the heart of the universe. ¿Qué te pareció?
Wow. First of all, that's deep and so true. I've always said that I feel like love is the root of all happiness, you know, whether it's you're in love with a person, you know, you're in love with your career, you're in love with your family, you're in love with your dog. It doesn't really matter. I feel like love is 100% definitely always the answer, especially in times like this. I think that, you know, lately we've seen so many things happen on
oh my God.
Tell
me about it. It's many things and you said it, from the planet to the human beings to racism. Totally. I mean, we've talked about so many like crazy and sad and eye-opening and shocking things are happening. And we're talking about emotions and feelings. How are you doing during this pandemic? How are you holding up? How are you feeling?
So, you know, I have to be 100% honest, because I think one of the biggest misconceptions, because I try to always, you know, diverge my posts and, you know, my quotes and things that I'm feeding people daily to be super positive. But sometimes, I'm not going to lie, there have been days where, you know, I've definitely felt it. I've definitely been in my feelings. I've been in my room and just kind of like, okay, I don't want to do a single thing today. I kind of just want to lay down. I want to stay in my PJs, you know, veg out and watch Netflix. Like, oh my God, I don't want to do anything at all. Like I started to get a little bit depressed, and it's something that I've been struggling with since 2017. I had a really tough breakup with my past label, and it was really, really tough on me. A lot of stuff happened during that time that I couldn't even begin to tell you how frustrating and ultimately hurtful it was. You know, sometimes I think any type of breakup, whether it's with a friend or whether it's with you know, a boyfriend, girlfriend, or in this case, you know, something that was it was a professional relationship that I had with these people that I 100% thought that it was going to go on, you know, for a very long time, maybe not forever, you know, but for many years to come. And, you know, it ended up being a really, really tough breakup. It was super, super public. It was very, very hard on me. But it's something that I was able to overcome over time. And during the pandemic, it kind of started to come back. I started to get those feelings again.
Those thoughts and feelings, girl, they creep up, huh? It's like that voice, and you're just like, who's talking in that voice? And it's like, you don't want to hear, but it's just so present and so loud. within our soul, within our minds. Talking about breakups, girl, I mean, you know, this pandemic brings up a lot of emotions, good and bad. We go through the roller coaster of emotions, but you know, you're talking about a professional breakup, and just breakup in itself, you said, anywhere, any type of breakup, it's so hard to deal with because it's a personal pain and attachment. And you're talking about, you know, whether you're in love with someone and your heart's broken, whether you've been invested in time in working in a professional relationship, you've invested your time and energy in that and who you are, and it's no longer there. How do you deal with breakups in general? Like, how have you been able to get on the other side?
I think that you brought up a very good point. You know, it's like all of a sudden you're with these people all the time, or with this person all the time, and then all of a sudden from one day to another, it's like boom, you're not even friends anymore. Like, you're not necessarily enemies, or at least in my heart, I don't feel like, you know, I didn't.
If you're blessed enough, girl. If you're blessed enough, you're not enemies. If you're blessed enough, because you know how chaos is, especially now. People are crazy.
It could get and it's like I swear, it's like it could be really nasty. But I think in my case, I try to always keep that mentality. You know, I don't want to gain you guys as enemies. You know, I don't see you that way. If you see me that way, God bless you, God illuminate you. But at least in my heart, it's not going to be a part of my you know, my daily day. You know, I just don't want it. So
because it's so toxic. It's like it just brings you down. It's so hard. It's so hard to deal with those emotions.
God brings us into this world alone for a reason, you know, and we leave this world alone for a reason. You know, at the end of the day, it's I think the first thing you need to do is recognize your own faults, you know, before you point a finger, before you you have to kind of look at yourself in the mirror and recognize, okay, where did I go wrong? What did I do that I could have done differently? And you know, you rectify it. If you have a chance to apologize, you apologize. If there's no way, then you know, you pray for that person and you apologize to God, and sometimes you don't get those chances, you know, you don't get those opportunities. So I feel like that's the first step. And the second step is to forgive yourself, you know, forgive yourself for whatever happened. Yeah. And I think that's so important,
because you're human. Like, you will make mistakes. It's okay. You know, what's not okay is to stay in that place, but it is okay to make mistakes, because that is part of evolution. That is part of us growing. That's part of us being, you know, human beings and having human emotions. So I think you just hit it on. I mean, that's so important, being able to forgive yourself and then asking the right questions. I love that you brought that up, because sometimes we go into like, why did this happen to me? It's like, let's not play the victim. Let's not stay there, because it's not going to serve you. You're not going to feel good about going that direction. But it is important to, like, you know, did I contribute to this? Is there something that I did? Could I have done things differently? And I think the biggest question, what did I learn? And I love that you said, learn to apologize. Girl, we got to check our ego at the door, and sometimes just come to terms and say, look, I'm sorry. It was not my intention. Or, you know, if I did that, I really didn't mean to hurt you, and I'm genuinely sorry. And with being sorry, don't do it again.
Yeah. Totally. I think that that's something so important. And I feel like a lot of times, you know, we get so wrapped up in the fact that, well, they did to me, or she this, or she that, or
me las van a pagar.
They hurt me. Totally. Sometimes people get revengeful. And I think that that's ultimately, it's a poison. And it's a poison that we ourselves are killing ourselves with on a daily, the more we carry it. So I feel like in my case, you know, I didn't feel revengeful. I didn't feel like I wanted to, like, hurt them. On the contrary, I felt like, you know, at first, why did they hurt me? Why did they do this to me? Until I started asking questions. Okay, what is this teaching me? You know, what could I have done differently? Where did I go wrong when this happened or that happened? And I think ultimately that's what kind of helped me to start to heal. And for a long time, I was fine. I didn't think about it. You know, the pandemic happens, this quarantine happens.
Because it forces us to be with yourself and your thoughts.
It really does.
Doesn't it? It's like,
really does.
I'm here.
It's like you literally have nowhere to go. You have nothing to do. And I'm used to being so on the go all the time that I think it was just like, okay, now we're going to shut this down for a second. You're going to sit down and you're just, like you said, you know, you have yourself, and my fiance is with me 24/7. We're always together. We've been like this for now our almost 13 years. We're going to be celebrating 13 years in a month. It's insanity. But I mean, even he was kind of like, okay, what's going on with you? You know, what's wrong? I've noticed you're different. You seem more down or
energy irritable. Doesn't lie, girl. Energy does not lie.
it was off the wall, you know, and I think I kind of had to take a step back and understand what was happening to me. And then finally I told him, you know what, I think I'm suffering from anxiety again. I have to channel my anxiety because it's starting to take a hold of me. It's starting to affect me now physically. You know, I would start to kind of shake, and then I'd get really hot, and then I'd start feeling it in the back of my neck. I'd start feeling it in my lower back. It was just... yeah, and I'd start getting really tense. So I was like, okay, what are the things that are triggering this anxiety? And I started to realize it's me. It's my thoughts. It's my head. So I think ultimately I had to take a step back and, okay, is this really this big of a deal? Okay, is this really relevant today? Or is it going to be relevant in 5 years? I'll take a step back. I take a deep breath. I kind of reflect, and then I come back. And I'm able to have stability again, because it literally was getting to a point where I was just... I was starting to hyperventilate. I mean, it's something that I like I said, I suffered with a lot in 2017, and then a part of 2018, and then it kind of calmed down, and it started to come back as soon as this quarantine happened. But luckily, you know, I have a lot of really amazing people that surround me. I have my family with me. And it's so important.
So important.
You know, your foundation is everything, you know, and I think that ultimately, when you have people that surround you that are constantly motivating you and that are constantly telling you, you know, you're worth it, and, you know, it's a huge help. It's a huge rectification of, okay, I'm doing the right thing. I'm on the right path. I'm okay.
And it's so important to have people speak life over to you, and being surrounded by family and people who actually love you and care and are supportive in your, not only in your successful moments, but in your darkest moments, that could speak life into you, because we all need that. But you talked about channeling. You know, your music is super relatable, girl, especially for women who are looking for love or who are in relationships. Would you say that, you know, your music has been directly influenced by your life and your experiences, whether good or bad? I mean, do you channel a lot through your music?
Totally. I think that every artist does. You sometimes get songs that don't necessarily come from you, you know, it comes from the label, but then you hear it and you relate to it. You're immediately like drawn to it, or, you know, sometimes it happens and sometimes it may not. But I think in 99% of the cases, 99% of the songs that I've ever recorded have had something to do with the past experience, a life experience that's happening at the moment, or, you know, even my depression, you know, and I have a song called No Pienses Que Es Por Ti, and it basically talks about, and it's like, it
I don't think so.
Talks about, exactly. It's, if I'm happy, it's because of me. If I'm sad, it's because of me. If I'm successful, it's because of me. Don't get it twisted. Nothing has to do with you. Don't think it's about you. So I think that ultimately these types of songs are important to me, because even though sometimes they don't necessarily have to do with love or a significant other, you know, sometimes they have to do with other situations, but they relate to me, and ultimately they're going to relate to the people that are listening to it. So, you know, I've sung about love because I am in love, you know, thankfully I've been in love.
Oh, wait for that. We're going to be talking about that up ahead, girl. I'm in love with love, girl. I think, you know, everybody is, you know, when you find love, it is the most beautiful thing to be able to be connected to someone that you love, that you have feelings for, that you're attracted to, and have that reciprocated, and that you come to a place where you could find each other and meet eye to eye and say, we're walking in the same direction. But we're going to be talking about that up ahead, girl. Now, we're talking about emotions, anxieties, ups and downs. You get to sing about things that are relatable, things that you're feeling. What about heartbreak, girl? To sing about heartbreak, is it therapeutic for you? Because look, as a woman, I've done some crazy shit. And I think, you know, it's about being raw, real, and relatable. We all go through crazy shit. We all get our heart broken. But what a beautiful thing to be able to sing about heartbreak that so many people go through. And to be able to like really heal through that and just kind of like pour your heart and soul out and just kind of like put it all out there. I mean, how do you feel? Do you feel it's therapeutic for you? And
it's definitely therapeutic, and it has been a part of my healing process. I'll tell you something. There's different levels in heartbreak, and I think sometimes people forget that, because if you hear a heartbreak song, you know, you hear something like Adios Amor. You know, Adios Amor is a song that's relatable because it's talking about someone that's still hurt. You know, I'm still heartbroken over this. I'm still hurt. And then there's songs like, you know, songs that Paquita la del Barrio sings, you know, Inútil, Animal Rastrero, you know, it's like,
you gotta love her for that. When I heard that, I was like, hell yeah, that's where I'm at in my emotions at this point right now. I don't know what that stage is, but it is, I'm right there with you.
Name for it, if I had a name for it, I think it would be I still love you, but forget you, fool.
And then the next stage it's not about you.
Yeah, it's not about you anymore.
It's not about you
I'm
anymore.
done.
I'm done.
I was
it's about
hurt,
me.
but now I'm good. Deuces. So I feel like there's literally different levels to heartbreak songs, different levels to love songs, but and I've found that at concerts and live shows that I've done, when I sing and I watch the crowd, I always pay attention to the women. The women, ultimately, those are the ones that you want to put in your back pocket. Those are the ones that you want to relate to you. Yeah. And 90% of the time, when I look out in the crowd and I'm singing a heartbreak song, it's the chicks. They're drunk, they're pissed, even if they're with their boyfriend, you heard me.
You heard me.
2006, you bastard. Like they're just, they don't
you have to
admit,
these things. Like all of that's so true, but you have to admit, like you think about all this, and I think you can relate in your career, girl. Like you have Jenny Rivera and you have Paquita del Barrio, and you see them, you see their videos when they are like talking about love, y están hablando de desamor, and they are just talking, just like, they're just pouring it out the way it is. And you see the cameras just view out, like you're watching all these women are standing, they're crying, they're screaming, they're angry, they're happy. It's like an anthem to them. It's kind of like their therapy also with so do you feel that people go through therapy with you when you're singing these songs?
Absolutely. I feel like that's their book club, and it's my book club too. Like ultimately it's like
Helen's book club. Hey.
Yeah. And we kind of just like yep, me too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Me too.
Right? Yes.
I feel you.
Fuck that. Yes. Screw him. Like, you kind of immediately with women, that's how it is. And I've seen concerts of these women. I've been to concerts of these women. I had the opportunity to actually open a concert for Paquita in 2000. Wow. I think it was 2018 in Guadalajara. It was, I was expecting, or from what they told me, we're expecting at least 9,000 people today. I said, oh my God. Well, I show up to open this show and they told me it's a full house. I said, okay, so what does a full house mean? There are 18,000 people here.
Oh my goodness. Oh, wow.
It was the most nerve-wracking concert.
And then you see why she's so relatable, because people, like you see when someone's relatable, people show up.
Totally. And it wasn't just like, it was like all ages of women, it was young teenage women. It was, women in their 20s, 30s, and then it was, older women my age, women my grandma's age, and they're all sitting there. They all have their chela and they're ready, they're ready to throw dirt on this man that hurt them in 1976. But I mean, it's like, you think about these things and it's just, I felt like, oh my God, this is exactly what I want. This is exactly what amazing. I love to accomplish with my songs. I love for people to feel what I'm singing, understand what I'm singing, and knowing that they've gone through it too. It makes me feel more human, and I think it makes them feel more relatable to me. So I definitely think that for me, it's been therapeutic, and it's a healer. Music has always been a healer, but especially when I do concerts and I see the people's reaction. I think that's the validation that you need.
All right, Mamita. So we talked about heartbreak. We talked about the therapy and being relatable through your music. But now entras una etapa nueva, a brand new area in your life. So we understand that you are engaged, girl. Congratulations on not only finding love, celebrating love. Tell us what it is like to find love after you've gone through so many things. And you openly sing about love and, the loss of love so many years. So now what? You're engaged. How does it feel, and how does it influence your music?
I think it's one of the best feelings in the world, especially when you find somebody that, is 100% your other half. I have to say, me and my fiance are super different, in terms of our feelings, our emotions, how we handle our feelings and emotions. I think the only thing that we know to have that's exactly the same is how much we love each other. And I think that ultimately it's one of the, I feel
but that's not a bad thing though. That's not a bad thing. Look at you. Como una niña chiquita. Isn't that everybody though? Isn't that every woman when they find love? I know it was when I did. So
so I mean, now you after so long, you have to find these new and exciting ways to just not necessarily keep things fresh, and because I hear that a lot from people, but I feel like every day is an adventure with this guy, I swear. And I know he feels that way with me. It's like every single day is a new challenge, or a new something good. Like we always have blessings every single day, and I think that
even through this
that's
pandemic.
the reason. Yeah, that's the reason why we've been together so long, you know, and I think that understanding each other is one of the biggest, you know, key things. And he's definitely influenced my music. He's been working with me since 2011 on my music. So now he manages everything that I do. He's co-owner of my record label, because that's another thing that, you know, when I left my label back in 2000, it was like the end of 2017, beginning of 2018. And I kind of just like, okay, now what are we going to do? We were literally broke as a joke, you guys. Broke as a joke. We had no money.
I've been there, done that, girl. Yes, I have been there, done that. I know how that feels. Negative
nothing. Yes.
Money in the account. And you're just like, literally. All right, nobody knows what I'm living through.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So I was like, okay, I have like, you know, $14. Oh, I have $92, you know, so don't even trip. You know, we can make this last for a week. And we found very crazy, interesting, unique ways to do that, you know. And I think that he's literally been with me in my worst times and you know, now in my
celebrate your best times.
Totally. Okay, so he's been with me in my best times. He's been with me in some of my worst times. And when I say worst times, I mean like literally where I was at a point where there was just almost no return. You know, I had gone through a really hardcore, very extensive and deep depression. And honestly, I didn't tell anybody. I didn't tell my parents. I have 5 sisters. I didn't tell a single sister. You know, I've you know, tons of friends, really good friends that would always kind of check up on me, and, you know, friends that are in my life like on a daily. And I never told any of them. The only one that knew what was going on was him. And honestly, it's a very big blessing that I have a partner that's so supportive, that's so understanding, who takes care of me.
It's a healthy type of love.
It's a very healthy type of love. And I think when I say takes care of me, because a lot of people can misconstrue this for something monetary. I mean, for me, takes care of me is,
emotionally,
you know, puts his feelings aside to put mine first. And he does this constantly. I mean, and I can't think of
so he understands your love language.
Totally.
What's your love language?
I can't think of a better. I feel like it's definitely, it's chaotic sometimes. I have to be honest, because I'm a little bit of a lot of things. You know, I have a really big, bold personality, and he's actually very shy. He's very calm. He's very tame. You know, but when we're alone, obviously, he's a fucking wolf.
Hello. yeah, girl. Ya te salió. Oh my God,
I
girl.
have to be honest.
That's why you got that big old smile before you got on camera, girl. That's why she's all looking fresh. Yes. She's got a wolf at home.
But I think it's important, you know, that I say this because, you know, so many people think that he's this shy, you know, just kind of tame person like, that they see behind the scenes.
Don't know. You just don't know.
Exactly.
Girl, what has been all right, girl. She's like, what has been done? Oh my God, girl. Besides having some good loving at home and some good sex, because good sex is important. We can't lie about
very
that.
Important.
That connection
it's so important.
Girls. It's above and beyond. Don't you think? Like it's above and beyond. Like totally making love and like being able to share. Because you're not only sharing your body, you're sharing that spirit. That like this is a very special connection. I think many people like misconstrue it and they end up confusing it for love. But I really feel that there is a huge difference when two people that are truly in love and with the same vision going forward. And when you share that intimate moment, like it just takes your relationship to the next level when there's that understanding. I don't know. I just think it's such an amazing, empowering, fulfilling, loving thing that can become really fun. Yeah, you're sharing energy. People don't understand how much energy is intertwining when you are making love with a person that you are in love with. Like there's a lot of energy. There's giving and taking of energy. So
totally.
Girl, good for you. You got a Mufasa at home, girl. You're obviously very happy. What has this type of love helped? You know, what has it taught you? Because it's important. We go through different love stages in our life, and I feel like everybody goes through the heartbreak and, you know, deception. And then you go through the lies and like everybody has different types of breakup stories that they've gone through. But I know that at some point in our lives, we are all worthy of love. We all end up attracting, like what we attract into our life is really a reflection of ourselves. So it tells you a lot where you are in your life. And when you get to this place where you have a healthy relationship with yourself and you're not so much out there looking for love, things start happening, falling into place, and you start reflecting the person, the person that you attract into your life, it becomes a reflection of you. And you have boundaries, and then you just, attract a person that is walking with the same vision, looking forward, but also is willing to invest in the relationship. It's not you chasing, or it's not just them chasing you. Like, you're just at this mature type of love. Like, I'm in it to become a better human being, but I'm also going to support you in becoming a better human being. And I'm going to support your wishes and stuff. What has love taught you?
I think it's definitely taught me patience, understanding. It's definitely taught me a lot about myself that I didn't know. Like, I was very afraid to be vulnerable. Even with him, after so many years of being with him, I was very, very afraid of vulnerability, because ultimately I'd been hurt so many times before that I think that, I started to kind of put my guard up, even with somebody that was always so sweet.
You always think in the back of your mind, don't you? When you get hurt, you're like, okay, ¿qué lo que quiere?
Okay.
Like, what does he want?
Yeah. Maybe, what if he's doing this just to... Exactly. And it hurts, because sometimes, there's a lot of men out there, and not all of them, but most of them. I shouldn't say most of them, but some of them, a big majority, big majority. And obviously, it's a natural thing. They want that booty. But at the end of the day, we have to be very mindful of ourselves, about how our energy feels around this person.
And pay attention. It doesn't lie.
Pay attention.
Your energy doesn't lie.
Yes.
And because we want love so bad, we ignore the red signs just because we want that connection. That's not what they want, a different kind of connection.
Exactly.
But you got to pay attention and be patient for the right type of connection. And your energy, your gut feeling tells you. And sometimes we run into these heartbreaks and problems because we ignore those red flags. And I know I've been guilty of that, and I've learned from that. That's why I'm like, patience is like the number one thing that you should have when it comes to attracting love. Because when you wait, you need to see that they're going to invest as much as you're investing in their relationship. And also, you need to confirm that what they speak is their truth. When people show you what they, who and what they say and they are, you should believe them the first time around and not ignore it. Like, oh, it'll get better later, or we'll fix it later. No, pay attention from the very beginning. Save yourself the heartbreak.
And I think one of the things that, really made me change my mind, because mind you, I met my fiance when he was 17. I was 19 at the time. We met, actually, and we met at his sister's bridal shower, but we would have met in college either way, because he was already pledging to be in a fraternity. I was in a sorority. So we'd see each other a lot at our university. But basically,
like, hey,
he tried.
How you doing?
That's exactly. That was his thing. He was literally like, but he was very calm about it. He was such a gentleman. I thought, oh my God, he's a really nice guy, and he tried to just come at me for like 2 years. And for a long time, we were literally just friends. And I always thought, if we get together, what if something happens? What if it goes wrong? Something goes awry, and then we end up not even being friends. So I kept telling him, no, let's just be friends, and then finally there
came out.
I was like, okay, I was literally single for like 2 months, and I'm like, okay, I want to be single. I want to have fun. I want to just, get out there and do my thing. And he's my friend during this time. And so basically I had gone on a date with another guy. When I told him, oh yeah, I went on this date, and he's like, you went on a date? What? He started acting really weird with me. I already had a feeling. I'm like, okay, if he feels something, then he should just flat out say it. So one time we all go out as friends, and then he literally just says, okay, so do you like this guy? I was like, okay, why are you asking me this? He's like, you know why I'm asking you this? I'm like, okay, well, I like him, but it's nothing serious. We just went on a couple of dates, and he basically was like, okay, if he's a nice guy and you like him, you should give him a chance. I said, well, I don't want to give him a chance because I don't want to have a boyfriend. I want to just be single. I want to just have fun. And he said, well, I just, you know that I love you. I've loved you since the first day I met you. I'm always going to love you. And he's like, you already know this. And I kind of just, wait a minute. And then all of a sudden he tells me, I want you to be happy. If this guy makes you happy, go give that guy a chance. Girl. I said, I'm not going to give him a chance because I don't want to have a boyfriend. I was like, so drop it. And then he says, I just want you to be happy, even if it's not with me. That was like, girl. It's like it might be the oldest trick in the book, guys, but let me tell you, I freaking fell for it. I thought it was the most adorable thing. I swear, literally that night.
And you're like, house, status change.
I was like, whoa. I swear, I was like, I feel like I had a blindfold on for the longest time. And I think because he was so young when we first met, I kept telling him, you just got into school, you're you just turned 18. Like, go make mistakes, go have fun, go batshit crazy. I'm like, this isn't it. I'm not supposed to be your girlfriend. You're supposed to hook up with chicks and drink and stay up late and do all these things. And
do you think that was your time, do you think that was like your wall speaking?
That was definitely my wall. That was 100% my wall. Because at the end of the day, I also kind of felt like, I also don't want to jump into this relationship. I was super young too, and I just got out of a really, really toxic relationship. My ex was horrible to me, so it was like, I was already getting freaked out. So I told him, no, let's just be friends.
Take it slow.
Yeah. And I'm glad we did. We got to know each other on a really different level. And I knew all of his dirty secrets. He knew a lot of mine. So it was just kind of like, at first when we started dating, it was super weird. We didn't tell anybody. He didn't tell his family. I didn't tell my family. Finally, we came out to everybody. Hey guys, so we're gonna date. Everybody was like, yay, we knew it.
Oh my God. Everybody knew it but you.
Yeah,
everybody knew it but you.
It was like, whoa,
girl, that's the way it was with my mom. My mom, I show up with my husband, and she's like, I know it. Like, yo sabía que te ibas a casar con él. Like, and I was like, really? Like, I could have avoided all this heartbreak. Why was I not just patient and just waited?
Yeah.
Why didn't I just take the time? But así pasa. There's lessons in everything. Moms always know.
Yes.
Girl, I like to do this thing that we call Rosie's takeaways. And this is where we talk about mistakes that we did in the past and what we learned from them. And I think it's so important because everybody's human. And I love this part because we all screw up. It's okay to make mistakes. We learn from them. So would you share with us one of the mistakes that you did in the past that you're like, this was the biggest lesson and it made me the woman that I am today?
Something I used to, one of the biggest mistakes I used to make in the past was believe that everyone's my friend. I could trust everybody. Everybody that's nice to me has the same heart that I do. And I think that at the end of the day, it was something that didn't just teach me to kind of take a step back and pay attention to these things that we were talking about previously, pay attention to energies, pay attention to how people talk, how they express themselves about other people, how they treat, other people. Yeah,
you got to be careful with that.
People, totally, 100%. How they treat people that can do nothing for them. And I think before I never paid attention to these things because I think I had tunnel vision when it came to, people that came into my life. And I really 100% thought, this person would never hurt me. This would never happen to me with so-and-so because, they love me too much or they care about me. They've told me they care about me. I think ultimately I started to understand that actions are everything because I especially would go above and beyond for people. And then, it's not that you do it to get something back. It's just something as simple as, I'm feeling down today. I just need to talk to somebody. And a lot of these people weren't there.
Yeah, a lot of these people weren't there. In those dark moments, like we said earlier, you get to find out who your true friends are. And like you said, it is important. Actions speak louder than words, ladies. Pay attention to the actions. Don't make excuses for those people because at the end of the day, you end up getting hurt. You want to invest your quality time, your genuine love with people who are genuinely, doing the same thing with you, that want to build a relationship, that want your best. What you give out, it comes right back. Just know that that's a blessing. But pay attention to those actions. Mamita, thank you so much for sharing your takeaway with today. It's about paying attention to those actions. And girl, just one quick thing. Please share some inspiration for all those women that are waiting to find love and have given up on that. God. A quick inspiration so they could just, listen to this and just get new hope that love is around the corner. It happens. And I feel that it happens in God's timing and not in our timing. And you know what? I've learned, you cannot give up on love. You try once again. You can't give up on that. Inspiration for them.
100%. Love yourself first. That's first and foremost, I think one of the most important things that you can do. I used to have a neighbor when I lived in downtown LA. She was, I think, 83 years old, lived with her husband, and then got a divorce. And then when asked, why after so many years she got a divorce, she said, look, I have very few years left on this earth. And the last remaining years that I'm going to live here, I want to live them happy and I want to live them with me. I thought that was the biggest act of self-love I've ever heard of in my entire life. I think that before we open the door to somebody else, we have to be sure of the fact that we are in love with our life. We are in love with our flaws. We are in love with our hearts, with our bodies, with our minds, our souls. And then we're going to be able to open that door, and we're going to be very selective of, you know what, this trait, and this trait does not serve me. It's not good for me. I don't need it. Because I think that's a mistake that sometimes we as women make. You know, we want it so bad that we're willing to accept certain things that we know damn well is not going to be good for us in the future. But just because we want it in the moment, we're willing to downgrade these things. And, you know, and I'm not talking about money and careers. And I'm talking about literally values and morals and education. And when I say education, I don't mean just book smarts. I mean just educación in general. You know, somebody that treats other people with kindness and morale. So, you know, I think that if we're going to find love, you know, we have to love ourselves first. And then we're going to be able to open that door and be not just selective, but, you know, be mindful of, you know, that this love is, you know, this one makes me feel good. This is valuable. Yes, he has these flaws, but I can live with this, you know, because I want this, you know. There's certain things that you guys will find a way. You'll find that balance once you start to feel it, you know, but you have to really pay attention to what this says. Sometimes this one's tricky.
Ladies, and last but not least, or for anybody that's listening, it's important to always come from a place of inspiration and not desperation. And then thank you so much, Mamita. These are all the questions for today. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, your fun moments, your laughter, and of course, you know, all those takeaways that you shared with us. Thank you so much. It's great getting to know a little bit more about you. I'm wishing you love, success, and you know what? Keep sharing the joy, girl, and keep inspiring us with your music. I can't wait.
Thank you so much, Bonita. I had a blast, you guys. I cannot wait for everybody to, you know, see what's coming. I have a lot of new things, a lot of new music coming soon, 2020, and already prepping for 2021. I'm engaged, guys. I'm a business owner now. I'm a woman with flaws, but I'm also a woman with a lot of heart. So thank you guys so much for this space. Thank you.
Mamita, where can they find you? Share with everybody where they can follow you.
Arroba or at Helen. Sorry, I'm so used to saying it in Spanish.
That's all good.
Helen_Ochoa on Instagram, and then you'll find links to follow me everywhere else: Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. I'm a little nutty on TikTok, guys. I kind of like started to get into the groove of it, and then oh my god, it's for fun, guys. That one's just for fun. But on a more serious note, you want to know what's going on with me? I'm always on Instagram. I'm always answering. I have a phone number where people can text me now. I'm going to be dropping that in my stories. I drop it every other week. It's been a while, but I have to go ahead and post it so that they could text me directly. I do have a phone number, so there's a lot of ways to connect with me. Aww. I'm like really hands-on with my followers, so
there you go. All right, Mamita. Make sure to follow Helen Ochoa. Mamita, thank you so much for your time. I'm sending you lots of love. Que sigas adelante, and I hope to get an invitation for that wedding. I'd love to go.
Cake and champagne, girl.
Hey, all day. You guys.
Thank you, Bonita.
Helen Ochoa, and I'm Rosie Mercado, and you just listened to the Girl with Self-Esteem Issues podcast on Himalaya.com. The importance of self-respect and teaching people how to treat you. You teach people how to treat you by the way you treat yourself. If you don't have healthy boundaries, if you don't rest, if you don't take care of yourself, or if you don't know how to say no, people will pick up on that energy and they will take advantage of you. You have to let people know that you honor yourself. And if they come in the way of draining you, disrespecting you, or taking you for granted, you will cut them off, and quickly and gracefully, because you matter. Next, you gotta understand your life values. What matters to you? Loyalty, integrity, authenticity, the give and take. Operate from your values and attract like-minded people who share those same values. If you waste your time with people who do not value what you value, I promise you your life is gonna be a living hell trying to not only work with them, befriend them, or even love them. If you wanna generate change that is meaningful, you need to first recognize how your own behaviors contribute to the way that others treat you. Only then can you begin to setting healthy boundaries to give yourself what you need and to create the life that you long for. Remember, I'm always here to help and always here to grow with you. Hey guys, this is Rosie Mercado, and this is the look of the day. My top provided by Target.com, jewelry by Linda Maria Jewelry, hair by Jennifer Arias, makeup by Drea, and nails by Lily. If you want to hear more about my journey, be sure to check out my memoir, The Girl with Self-Esteem Issues, available in both English and Spanish through HarperCollins and Harper One. You can find the link to purchase in the show description or wherever you're listening to this podcast. Thank you for listening to the Girl with Self-Esteem Issues, a Himalaya learning podcast. To access my Own Your Shit handbook filled with key insights and exercises, and to join a community where you could go and chat directly with me, go to Himalaya.com/Rosie, enter promo code Rosie at checkout, and get 14 days absolutely free. I hope to see you there.